I made a community post asking you guys to give me some Bloxburg myths, and there were a lot of really good replies. So today, I'm going to test 20 Bloxburg myths to see if they are real or fake. If you want your ideas to be in future videos, make sure to subscribe so you see when I make community posts. But with that being said, let's start off with the first myth. There is a hidden parking lot in the city. The parking lot is not visible by just looking at the city, but if we look slightly under the concrete in front of the hair salon, you will see parking lines. Maybe the developers planned on putting a parking lot here, but obviously that didn't happen and maybe they just forgot to get rid of it. But that means this myth is real. Next up, we have you can hang glide onto people's plots while they are in build mode. So if I get into build mode on my main account and then on my alt account, if I get on this hang glider and I go right to the side and I fly over the plot, hopefully it should let me land on top of it. As you can see, there is a barrier up here, and you are not able to fly on top of people's plots, which means this myth is fake. Since we're talking about build mode barriers, let's test a similar myth. Your shift will end if someone gets in build mode while you are riding a pizza bike through their plot. I put 2 of my accounts in the same server and drove a pizza bike onto my alt's plot. I then got into build mode and I'm still on my bike, which means this myth is fake and you don't have to worry about driving off the street. Myth 4 is that there is a floating Bloxburgers bag under the map. If we use free cam and fly under the map, as you can see, there is a bag. If you also get someone to receive an order at the drive-thru, the bag will disappear. But with that being said, this myth is real. Myth 5 is you can access neighborhood server settings with a chat command. Okay, this is probably the easiest myth to test. All I gotta do is go into the chat and type /server_settings, and when we press enter, nothing happens, which means this myth is fake. Next up, we have there is a secret message in the city hall. If you go to the doors under the city hall staircase and look to the right, you will see a message on the wall that says Dom was here. So this myth is real. I have no clue who Dom is, and I don't think anyone else knows either, so comment your theories if you have any. Myth 7 is the river tunnel leads to a secret. To test this myth, all we need to do is swim into the tunnel. And you can't enter the tunnel, so maybe if we go into free cam and look behind it, there could be something hidden. It doesn't look like anything's down here unless you consider a big circle a secret, but I don't, which means this myth is fake. Myth 8 is fishing gives more money than pizza delivery. I did a 10-minute pizza delivery shift at Max Moods and made $25,088. And then I did a 10-minute fishing shift at Max Moods and made $25,676. The $588 difference does not mean that fishing is better than pizza delivery. It was caused by how long it took to complete each task. That means if I were to do this test a second time, there's a chance that pizza delivery would make slightly more than fishing. That's because all jobs now pay the same amount of money, which means this myth is fake. Myth 9 is there are secret rooms in Bloxburgers. If I look inside the roof, there is a room above the entrance and a smaller room above the drive-thru window. Even though these rooms are empty, they are still secret rooms, which makes this myth real. Myth 10 is tree logs are stored after getting cut. At Lovely Lumber, you will see an infinite amount of logs dispense and get cut. But where do they go? Well, if we use free cam to look inside, you will see it's only 3 logs. One log just sits here and does nothing, while the other 2 do the same loop forever, which means this myth is fake. The 11th myth is that the seashell trophy still exists. If you go to this point on the cliff and wait by the water, eventually this seashell will pop up. You can then pick it up and it'll go to your inventory. The seashell has been in the game for a while now, and as you can see, it still is, which means this myth is real. Myth 12 is you can make really big burgers at the fast food job. I filled the ingredients all the way up, so now all we have to do is build the biggest burger possible. So let's start with a bottom bun, and let's just put a few patties. There's 10 patties. Okay, let's add 10 more. That is 20 patties on one bun. Now we need some cheese. So it looks like the limit is 30. So this is 20 patties, 8 pieces of cheese, and 2 buns. Or I guess 1. But still, it's a very big burger, which makes this myth real. Next up, we have there is a secret behind the nightclub bar. YouTube compression is probably making this really difficult to see, so I'll tell you what I see and you can visualize it. There's nothing. This myth is fake. Myth 14 is you can glitch through walls with watering cans. As you can see, I have my watering can and I have a wall. And one thing I noticed is if you spam equip and unequip the watering can, it slowly moves you back. So if we put our back against the wall and we equip it, maybe it'll put us through. And it looks like that is not true. All it does is push you against the wall. So either I'm doing this wrong or it doesn't work. But since I didn't figure it out, I'm going to say this myth is fake. The 15th myth is you can put model IDs on decals. This is a decal, and this is a model. And as you can see up here, there is an ID. So if we copy this and we go to Roblox and we put it in here, as you can see, it put a picture of the model, which means this myth is real. Myth 16 is if you jump 1,000 times in front of Pizza Planet, it'll explode. Myth 17 is if you order food on a phone, it will come half eaten. This myth is dumb, probably because it's fake, but all we gotta do is test it. So let's order food and let's get a Bloxburg. There we go, it's on its way, and now all we have to do is wait. So let's sit down. Our food is here, and it looks like it is a full burger. Okay, no it is not. To be completely honest, I didn't think this was real. I thought this was a fake myth because why would they deliver an eaten burger? But I guess it's real. The 18th myth is you can make your avatar stare at the camera. If you press Ctrl, Shift, and X, the console will pop up. And if we type face, camera, true, then as you can see, my head looked up, and every time I turn my camera around, my character looks at me. Kind of like something out of a horror movie. It's kind of creepy, but that means this myth is real. Myth 19 is you can get to the floating base plate under the map. The floating base plate is under this plot on Riverside. If you use a hang glider to get to the base plate, you'll be short by a lot. And I don't know any other ways to get down there unless you use a glitch. So even though it's probably possible, I'm going to say it's fake. And the final myth is that there is a basement under the event plot. The event plot is behind the campsite. So to test this myth, all we need to do is fly over there. Now that we're here, all we need to do is go under the map. I'll try and make it brighter just so you can see what I'm seeing. But this is a basement, and it looks like this is a second basement, which doesn't make much sense because there's not two basements in the game, which means this myth is double real, I guess. And that is 20 debunked Bloxburg myths. Make sure to go down and comment which myths were your favorite. Before the video ends, I want to thank you all for 127,000 subscribers. We are getting super close to 130,000, and I really appreciate your support. But with that being said, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to stick around for the next video.